If you're in sales, you probably think you're in control of the conversation, but I almost guarantee you're not. I've worked with thousands of sales professionals across multiple industries, and the best sales professionals use the shared agenda to confirm and control every conversation so they don't leave it to chance. So I trained every sales rep at Salesforce.com from 2010 to 2018. Salesforce set the stage for an entire generation of sales professionals, and I was the one who trained every single one of them. In this video, I'm going to give you the quick and dirty version of how you can do this yourself and the details where you can go to get the templates, the tools, the resources, and the training so you can confirm and control meetings and reduce your no-show rates. Guide these conversations to get the most out of them and follow up so you never get ghosted. Like, here's the issues that it addresses. No-shows. On the confirm side of the house, a ton of reps set up meetings, a ton of clients don't even show, right? So an SDR has a conversation with somebody, they schedule a meeting for the AE, nobody shows up. And the reason is because 9 times out of 10, when somebody schedules a meeting with me, and I use this as an example, you might catch me today and it might be, oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, why don't we book a call next week, right? Whatever. When next week comes up, if this isn't like top of mind, on fire, something that I actually want to look forward to address, I look at my day and I got meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and I'm like, fuck is this one for? And if that question comes up, is this one for? And I have to go in it and there's no context to it and you're going to force me to go look back at an email. Who is this? Oh yeah, whatever. That's going to be the first meeting I cancel. Okay. But with the shared agenda, it's a very simple approach. Literally, it's reduced my no-show rates by like 80%, where all you do is don't put the agenda in the original meeting invitation because nobody looks at that. They just hit accept, right? So therefore, it's kind of wasted if you put it in the original invite. So then 24 hours before the meeting, I send that shared agenda. Hey, I'm looking forward to our call tomorrow, not are we still on for tomorrow? In order to get the most out of our time together here, I put together a brief agenda. Here's a few points that I want to cover. What else do you want to make sure that we add? And we leave 3 bullet points blank, effectively telling you fill in the blanks. Then the likelihood is they're not going to respond. But when they do, obviously you're in for a great meeting because now they're engaged. And if you want to put some additional information in there to help them prepare for the meeting, like your company background and all that shit, whatever, just to have it in there, great. So you send that about 24 hours before. Then the morning of, whether they respond or not, the morning of, you update the meeting invitation with the agenda in there. So you don't change the time, you don't change anything. So when that update happens and it comes through on my email, and I'm like, what's this update about? And I noticed that the time didn't change. It almost forces me to go into that agenda and go into the email invite and go, oh, yeah, okay, this is what this is about. So you get a ping me the day before, you ping me the morning of. So now I know what this meeting's about and I know you're coming. So now the likelihood of me not showing up is a lot lower because the rep is prepared. I know what the meeting's about. Then I use the shared agenda to guide the conversation. If you don't have an agenda, they're in control, you're not. And how often have we been in a situation where, you know, you walk in with a mental agenda and you're like, within 5 minutes, somebody asks you that random ass question that takes you down the rabbit hole for the next 45 minutes. And you pick your head up and you realize, oh shit, I only got about 5 minutes to talk to what I actually wanted to talk about. Like I said, without an agenda, you got nothing. You better be a damn good artist to pull that back on track and address the things that you want to do. But you have an agenda, you have structure. So now I can say, hey, thanks for taking the time today. You know, and again, nuance things here. You don't say, is this still a good time? You don't want to say something dumb like, is this still a good time? Of course, it's still a good time. I picked up the phone, so let's talk, right? But what you should say is, do you still have 30 minutes? Do you have a hard stop at 2 o'clock? Because I do need to know that, right? And then you're like, hey, you know what? I'm sure you probably didn't see the agenda that I sent out the other day, but I just want to make sure that we get the most out of our time together here. Here's a few things I want to make sure that we cover. What else do you want to make sure that we add here? If nothing else, your agenda at least needs to start with the why. Like, why are we having this conversation in the first place? Then we get down to the problem, ultimately, is what we're trying to find, and the impact that problem is having on their business. And then you should talk about the tailored components of your solution that could potentially address whatever that problem is. You have them fill it in, so you build the agenda together. The beauty of that is then you start going through the agenda. And if you do this with multiple people, hey, Jay, right, what's the one thing you want to get out of this? Hey, what's the one thing you want to get? What do you want to get out of this? Great. So we have this structure here. Then you start going through it. Halfway through, if that random ass question comes up, you'll be like, you know what, that's a great question. Is it more important than what we all agreed that we want to talk about here? Because if it is, I'm happy to address it. But if not, like, can we stay on track here? Most of the time you'll get, yeah, you know what, let's stay on track. Now, an executive will probably say, yourself, I want to talk about this, and then you just have to adjust. But typically, if it's somebody below the power line, you can control the conversation a little bit more. Then afterwards, you collect all that information, you take all your notes, you have a tool record the call for you. Then you have to get, which is my favorite nugget, the summary email. And this is what helps you control the conversation and hold them accountable for what they're telling you. And the key to this is you have to let them know it's coming. So you go, hey, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate some next steps and action items. Before I go ahead and do all that though, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna briefly summarize what I was able to gain from our conversation today, and I'm gonna send it over to you in a quick email. Could you do me a favor and email me back to let me know if it's all accurate and if I missed anything? And you got to get them to say yes, because if you don't ask them up front, like the response rates are pretty much zero. So you tell them that, and then right after you get off this phone, you do not write a book here. You don't write this big, long-winded shit. And this is not an opportunity for you to reiterate your value proposition. Like, oh, look at how great we are. This is purely to confirm what you heard from them. So current situation is this, timeline's this, your priorities are this. Please email me back to let me know if this is all accurate. Send. When you send that, watch for the response. My experience is people above the power line, like decision makers, they have no problem responding to that email for two reasons. One is lying's a waste of time and they know it. Two is you just did their job for them. I mean, when was the last time an executive took notes during one of your meetings, right? So, and a lot of times I'll actually leave some stuff blank. Like, hey, I totally forgot to ask you about this. Executive. Oh yeah, sorry, John. Now, once I have that confirmed, yes, John, that's accurate. Now I got something to hold you accountable professionally. Now, people below the power line tend to have a hard time responding to that email. And the reason is because it's not that they're lying to us. It's just that they know that their lives change so often, they don't want to commit to anything in writing. So just that alone, because if you and I just had this conversation, I then told you I was going to send this summary and you said yes. And then 15 minutes later, this is everything that you told me and you don't respond, something's off. Something's wrong. I'm not saying it's a red flag. I'm saying it's a yellow flag. My experience is when I get a response back, especially from executives, I have an 80+% close ratio when I get that summary email back. When I don't get the summary email back, I have a 32% close ratio. So right there, just the response itself tells me how engaged this person is. And then later on, when they ghost me inevitably, instead of being like touching base and checking in, where'd you go? And I now have a summary email that I can send back to you and say, hey, haven't heard from you in a little while. Are these still your priorities? Is this still your timeline? Because when we talked, you had said this is why I'm following up the way I am. Could you let me know if priorities have changed or something like that? And then if your main point of contact who's below the power line is still ghosting you, you now have an opportunity to go above their head without shattering the relationship. Because if you got true priorities, true timelines, you can go to the executive and say, hey, I haven't heard from so-and-so in a while. Hope they're okay. Based on what we talked about here and what you said your priorities were, I wanted to reach out to you from an executive standpoint to see if this was still a priority. You're still going to piss this person off, but it gives you at least a very professional way of doing it without shattering the entire relationship. So with that, confirm the meeting with the shared agenda up front. Use the shared agenda during the call to control the conversation, and end the call with a summary email allows you to confirm, control, and hold people accountable. So to get all the details of how to do this, including the templates and a couple of GPTs that'll help you along the way, sign up for the JB Sales Pro membership today and let's make it happen.